Every week, I talk to restaurant owners who love to tell me that all they need is more customers. And every week, I love to tell those restaurant owners that they are wrong. Because most restaurants actually don't need more revenue. What they need is more profit. Why do I say that? Because profit pays the bills. Yeah, it might feel cool to say you got a $5, $6, $7, $8 million restaurant, but if you're stuck at 3, 4, 5% profit, who cares? I'd rather have the cool, calm confidence that comes with having a restaurant that is consistently profitable. I'm talking 15, 20, 25% or more every single month. You can't beat that. See, sometimes growth comes not in the form of growing customers, but just in plugging holes. That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. How do we plug holes to get you more profit? I'm going to share a bunch of case studies from real restaurants I've worked with over the last 12 to 18 months. If you don't know me, my name is Chip Close. I'm the founder and CEO of Restaurant Strategy. I help independent restaurant owners increase the profitability of their restaurants. I do that a bunch of different ways. One of the main ways is through this channel. So thank you for being here. I told you we would talk about how to grow profit, not necessarily revenue, because if the only way to manage revenue or the only way to be profitable is to grow revenue, then it's a sinking ship. See, I'm the one who says revenue does not necessarily cure all sins. Sometimes revenue can cover up a lot of sins, right? Pounding revenue, if we've got heavy labor, well, the only way the labor makes sense is if we are pounding the register. So if we have to do more and more and more revenue, what do you do when we're in a recession? What do you do when we're in election year? What do you do when prices at the gas pump are $5, $6 a gallon? Then you're never going to convince people to come out. So you have to know how to make money even when revenue is flat or down. I've got restaurants all over the country, and they tell me this year, 2025, was their most profitable year ever because they installed the systems to help manage these things. I want to talk about some of those systems. I want to talk about some quick, easy, actionable ways for you to plug the holes in your business, not to grow revenue, but to make more profit from the revenue you've already got. Right? That comes in the form of labor management, cost management when it comes to ordering. It comes from finding efficiencies. It comes from growing PPA in your restaurant. There's so many different ways. If any of that doesn't make sense, we're going to get to it. Let us start by talking about Gather Brewing. So Gather Brewing is based out in San Antonio. They actually are just opening a second location out in Boise, Idaho, run by Mike and Rachel Voller. They've been P3 members for a long time. One of the things they were struggling with was COGS in their restaurant. And they brew their own beer. So like they were getting crushed. Their COGS, cost of goods sold, was at 38%. And something I always say is that blended COGS needs to be below 30. 30 is the max. So over the course of 4 months, we helped them get from 38% to 28%. Part of that was through using a piece of software called Margin Edge. If you don't know it, go check it out. It is the best industry-leading software when it comes to inventory and COGS management. But what we had them do was take inventory. Monthly inventory so that they have a good P&L, and weekly inventory so that they really could get a handle on their ordering. Then we looked at their recipe cards. We helped them build recipe cards for every single item. You have to know what it costs you to put things on a plate and send it out to the dining room. What they found is that they were overpaying for meat, for steak, for ground beef. They were overpaying for their pretzels, right? The pretzels they served as an appetizer. So little by little by little, we helped get all of those costs in line. We made sure that food was all below 30%, and they're sort of like a gastropub, right? A brewery. So their food needed to be between 22 and 28%. So factoring for waste, it's never going to go any higher than 27, 28, 30%. And when we blend that together with their beverage, they were well below 30. Doing that, monthly inventory, weekly inventory, getting their recipe cards in place, putting portion control in place, both for their cooks and their bartenders, all of that over the course of just 4 months helped them go from 38% to 28%. You do the math. That's 10%. 10% that doesn't go anywhere except to the bottom line. So on a $2 million operation, we literally helped them find an extra $200,000 in their operation. They've reinvested that $200,000 now over the last 2 years to open up this new location out in Idaho. They picked up them. The entire family moved out there to open this new one because guess what? Now the existing location, the original location outside of San Antonio, can take care of itself. Now it knows how to run itself because they've plugged in the managers, which, by the way, is another thing that we help with in the group that I run. So I run the P3 Mastermind. I talk about it a lot. I'll talk about it at the end in case anyone's interested. But by working with them, just showing them how to get control of their COGS number, we help them drop another $200,000 to the bottom line. I don't have to tell you what that means to a small growing family, right? Next one I want to talk about is Mama's on the Half Shell. Mama's is down in Baltimore. They have 2 locations. We help take their labor from 41% to 32%. That's a 9-point reduction. And P.S., 9 points, it doesn't go anywhere except to the bottom line. Now, across 2 locations, they're doing $9 million. You do the math. 9 points on $9 million, it's about $800,000. $800,000 to the bottom line simply by putting controls in place. I talk about this a lot. There are other videos on this, but one of the biggest rules I say is no overtime ever, number 1. Number 2, we never post a schedule that's over budget. Naturally, then, we got to teach you how to forecast and budget. It's what we did with Finn and the team at Mama's on the Half Shell. We showed them how to forecast business and how to generate budgets for the key areas of their business, specifically labor. So then we figure out, how do we stagger in times and out times? How do we get more efficient on the line? How do we look at our menu items and make sure that we can cap prep time? All of that helped them take 9 points off their labor. Again, over the course of the year, in 2026, it's going to be an extra $800,000 in savings dropping to the bottom line that they get to put in their pockets. It's the impact of what we're talking about. It's the impact of the work we do with restaurants all over the country. Third example I want to tell you is the Blue Plate. The Blue Plate is down in Alabama. They have 3 locations. They're a Southern diner. Low check average, $15.50 per person. So they are for retirees, fixed income, people on a budget. People go there for a really great meal, but they go there for a great deal. One of the things that we did is we helped them, number 1, increase their prices because they needed to. We found savings with their COGS percentage, dropped them from about 35 to 38%. But that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is the way that we helped grow PPA. PPA stands for per person average. You have to know on average how much each person spends who comes in there, and we have to then set a target to grow that PPA. So even individuals who are on a fixed income, people who are on a budget, they will spend more if we give them an opportunity to spend more. We focused on 3 key areas. So everyone came in and got a drink and an entree, but not everyone got an appetizer. Not everyone got a premium drink. So they came in and got iced tea, but they weren't ordering the Coke products that we had by the can and by the bottle, things like that. They weren't getting, coffees for after their meal. So they came in and got iced tea and a meal. What we did is we figured out how to also sell them an appetizer, an upgraded beverage, and a dessert, even a dessert to go. Just those 3 things helped raise the PPA from $15.50 to $18.50, which on the surface might not sound like a lot, but if you're doing the math, $3 on $15 is a 20% increase. We found a way to get on average a 20% increase per person. So this year, and we've just instituted it now about halfway through, we started that in May and June. We've instituted that, and this year they're on target now to go from a $7 million restaurant at 14% to an $8.5 million restaurant at 22%. You do the math, but that is a real meaningful impact to the bottom line. We are increasing the take-home pay for the 2 owners of this restaurant group. 3 locations. We took them from 7 to 8.5 million, from 14% to 22% profit. They are absolutely crushing it. And guess what? They haven't lost customers. They haven't lost staff. Their staff is seeing a raise too, because when we increase revenue by 20%, we also increased tips by 20%. They are making 20% more as well. So in essence, we've given the entire front of house team a raise as well. So again, we're talking about plugging holes, talking about how do we get COGS in line? How do we get labor in line? How do we increase our PPA? Those are 3 key ways we can increase profitability. And notice, we're not talking about getting any more customers in the front door. We're just thinking about how to make more from the customers we've already got. 2 more examples I want to share. K Hall's Deli down in Panama City, Florida. David came to us, didn't know what was going wrong. I was doing a ton of revenue, but wasn't making money on it. We showed him how to raise prices. We talked about something called popcorning prices. If you've never heard this, when it comes time to raise prices, and I say we have to raise prices pretty frequently throughout the year, right? Every month or every quarter, what we do is we popcorn prices. We don't raise all the prices. We raise a couple of items this month, a couple of items next month, a couple of items the month after, a couple after that, little by little. So it's beverages, it's well drinks, it's stuff in the case, pies, desserts, things like that. And that's what we did at K-Halls. We showed him how to increase prices because he realized he was underpriced by about 15%. So we had to increase prices by 15%. We can't do it all at once. So we showed him how to popcorn prices. He is now crushing it. Went from about 4, 5, 6% now to 16, 17, 18% profit every single month. Not getting more people in the front door, but making more from the people who are already coming in the front door. Last example I want to use for to show you is something really, really cool. Again, it's another price increase. Sonoma Pizza Co., based out in Sonoma. So the owner was part of the group, the P3 Mastermind, for about a year. He came in, and one of the things we discovered is that he had to raise the prices. The prices were such because of labor in California, because the cost of the product, he was getting quality products in, he had to raise the prices. And he had to go from like $22 or $23 a pizza to $28. And he said, it's gratuitous. No one's going to pay it. They're going to laugh at me when I charge $28 for a margarita pizza. And I said, hey, listen, if that's what it costs, that's what it costs. You have to raise the price, but let's anchor the prices. So price anchoring is something where you add a premium item to the menu and it gives you cover for everything under that. So one of the things we did is I said the weekend, right, on that Friday, he was going to have to raise prices. I said, add a premium pizza on there, not for like $29 or $30, but for like $52. And he sort of laughed at me. He's like, what am I going to charge $52? I said, well, make it worth $52. What he came up with was a smoked salmon pizza with dill and goat cheese and caviar that was spoon tableside. It was absolutely worth $52. And I said, look, two things are going to happen. Number one, someone's going to get it and you're going to realize who your heavy hitters are, who your big spenders are. And number two, it's going to give you cover for a $28 item. No one's going to talk about the $28 item. If they think it's expensive, they're going to go, oh my God, who's ordering a $52 pizza? Price anchoring, add a premium item to every area of your menu, every category. It gives you cover for other areas of your menu. It's something we did. These are 5 case studies from real clients I've worked with. You can put any of this into practice and make more profit. Let's stop talking about more customers, more revenue. Let's talk about plugging the holes and making more from the customers that we've already got, from the revenue you've already got. Again, my name is Chip Close. I run something called the P3 Mastermind. The link to find out more about that program is down below in the captions. If you want to learn more about how me and the other coaches come in and help you, then click that link, watch a quick video, grab some time on the calendar. You chat with me or someone from my team. We'll ask each other a bunch of questions and see if you're a good fit. The P3 Mastermind is the #1 way I know how to help people personally, one-on-one, and to connect you to an incredible community of restaurant owners from all over the country. Appreciate you guys being here. I hope you got something from this video. Go watch some of the others, and I'll see you on the next one.